want to talk about is why, Michael's touched on it, but why we need more members and why membership matters. So Gareth, can we have the next slide? Thanks. Yeah, mate. Thanks. So in our club, in our district, we've got a lot of different clubs, and it's probably a very diverse district. We've got large clubs, small clubs, suburban and country clubs. They all deliver service in different ways. Some are set in their ways, comfortable with the status quo, but maybe fail to recognise the threat to their survival. So the question I really want to ask, I'm going to ask clubs all through the district is, will they still be able to deliver the same services they're delivering now in 10 years' time? Thanks, Gareth. I'll go to the next one. Or are we going to get into this vicious circle where fewer members means less community impact, less relevance, and probably this is probably the most important word for a Rotary Club is relevance. If we want to attract members, we've got to be relevant to the current situation, especially the post-COVID situation. Post-COVID has caused a whole lot of disruption to our normal way of life. But it's also probably opened up opportunities. I think Rotary's going to be needed more after, when COVID settles down than it was before. Especially if we do find a vaccine, how are we going to roll it out? Who in the world's got the expertise to roll out a vaccination project across the whole world? Because, we've been pretty sheltered in Australia, but what about all those countries that we've been delivering the polio vaccine to? They're going to need Rotary more than ever, and those Rotary processes are going to be rolled out, and we need more people to do that. But if you lose relevance, if you don't recruit people, you get existing members, and we get these people worn out. We lost a few members at the 30th of June. COVID sort of made them think about their 30 years in Rotary, and they thought, maybe it's time I moved on, sort of thing. They're honorary members now, but they've moved out of the active membership category. So, but we need to work on this. The message and thanks, next slide, thank you, Aaron. So, from my definition of what club development is about helping clubs to be vibrant and offering value to their members so that we attract and retain, because retention is a major exercise, resulting in sustainable growth. We just don't want growth that's going to peak and then drop off in district membership and enhance public image. And having a variety of club formats available to expand our reach in geographic areas. So we've already proved in this district that we've grown through some clubs growing generically, but we've also have been very innovative in some of the new club formats that we've used. The satellite clubs and the passport club, and there's some few others on the horizon there. So that's what I see club development is about. So I'm happy to talk to clubs about, and one of the things I want clubs to have is a plan to be how they're going to be increase the value that they're giving to their members. Thanks, Gareth. Some of you may have heard Mark Huddleston. Andy's had his book around the place a fair bit, and he's a disruption in Rotary. He's challenging Rotary to do things differently. But as Mark said, the time that our members are prepared to give is the most valuable resource that Rotary clubs have got. We've all become time poor, and I think during COVID we all started revaluing our time. So that's a not interesting sort of thing. People suddenly found that the 24/7 sort of on the thing and moving all the time and trying to meet deadlines to keep up with everyone else wasn't quite as what they really wanted, and there's more people out walking, having family time, etc. So, thanks, Gareth. Yeah. But to grow and survive, our clubs need to make sure our members get value for the time they give. So there's no, in the old days, if you were a Rotarian in the last century, a lot of us remember when all attendance was king. We had to be there at every meeting, sit there, have that horrible bad meal, and listen to some boring speakers at times. But we had to, attendance was, if we didn't get attendance of 80% or 70%, you got a question from the thing. If you got down to 50%, you got evicted. And if you asked anyone about Rotary, they say, oh yeah, that's the place where you've got to go every week. Oh, I can't afford to go every week, you know. And then we try to explain, oh, well, you don't have to go every week. You can make up other places. So that was, Rotary's become much more flexible now. But what we've got to do is when people turn up for something, we've got to make sure they get value. And that may be value in delivering service they want to deliver. That may be value in hearing a really good speaker at their meetings. It may be value in the friendships. So the question I want to ask, thanks, Gareth, is how do we measure the value of Rotary membership? And does your club deliver value for money or value for the time and effort you want out of your members? Thanks, Gareth. So I believe that every club should have a value proposition. So how many people here in the room invited someone to join Rotary last year? So, but what was the value proposition that you put to them? Has all your members of your club understand what the value proposition that you're going to put to every member, to a potential new member? You know, and that's a little bit about what Michael put up there before, what is Rotary? People ask what is Rotary and people go, oh wow, well we do sausage, you know. Let's have the next slide. Are you going to say, well, we help the community by having sausage sizzles? Is that your value proposition you're going to put to potential members? Because once people join Rotary, there's a whole lot of other things that you get out of Rotary. The teamwork, your friendships, connections, international, your international esteem. How well do we market those other things that we get out of Rotary? This is what people see us because we're out doing things. So that's why, they say, oh, they associate Rotary with sausages because we do a lot of sausage sizzles, because that joint gets income for us to give community help. So just think about, next slide, thanks, Gareth. So if I ask you now to write down at the moment, what is the service or activities that your club is passionate about? So we're a service club, we're helping the community, we're doing good in the community. What are the one or two or three? Are you primarily a youth type club? Have you got a whole lot of local community groups that you support? You got some international projects you're really proud of? That's what you should be. That's your first hit. That's what If someone said, "Oh, well, we're passionate about this." If I said to my club, I can say, "Well, we've got quite a few things, but we've got some members in our club who are really passionate about Romac, and we've got other members who are passionate about something else." So we can say, that we've got different passions within the club, and that when you join Rotary, you're allowed to have a passion about something else. If you join the Cancer Fund, all you can have a passion about is cancer recovery. Rotary's got a smorgasbord, and that really makes it hard to market because we've got too much. We've always got plenty on our plate. We've got six avenues of, all these avenues of service, and we're doing all these things all the time. Next one, thanks, Gareth. But the main thing you really got to sell is what benefit will members provide for the individual? What's in it for me? Why should I join your club? And you charge me to join. I can go and volunteer for another organisation and get my community spirit out by doing that. But I don't have to pay. You want me to pay to belong to this club, and then I've got to do servitude as well. That doesn't sound like a really good deal. So you've got to get your value proposition pretty well down pat to be able to tell people what you get out of it. Next one, thank you. And then the third thing I think you need in value proposition: what makes your particular club successful and the best choice for serving the community rather than going working in another charitable organisation? Perhaps it's a unique selling feature. The fact that Broadwater Southport's got chapel, that Service Sunrise has got a shed where they not only manufacture 10,000 wheelchairs, they're manufacturing flat pack buildings to go over to developing countries. Every one of your clubs is doing something that of great value, but let's make sure that we, now, so that's the sort of saying, and you've got to make sure all your members know that, so they want to invite people along to your meeting. If you haven't got a value proposition, or you can't, then you need to start working on it. So what I'm saying is what I want to see at the end of my year as club development chair is that every club's got a plan to improve their value proposition. They just want to improve one or two things, that make their club more attractive, so that their members are proud to bring a guest along and ask them to join Rotary. Okay, next one, thank you. My consulting practice has been in looking at values on value management, and this is a model that we use in value management to say that anything must have a useful purpose, it must have benefits, it must have important features and characteristics, and you can define anything, whether it's a train trip or whatever, by that way. But there's going to be so many different perspectives of, people are going to join Rotary for different reasons, people are going to stay in Rotary for different reasons, so you've got to start thinking about those. Thanks, Gareth. So I brainstormed with the assistant governors at one of the sessions about what's the useful purpose of Rotary. So quickly through this one, Gareth just knocked them down. Deliver service for good in the local community, youth programs, international causes, support for the Rotary Foundation, and you notice now that our Rotary International's added the environment. Wow, is that a hook for opportunities for Rotary? There's so many people out there interested in environment. If Rotary's out there as leading the charge, we're going to get there's lots of people going to join Rotary because of they've got environmental concerns and they see that Rotary can do something about it. Thank you, Gareth. Next one. So we talked about the beneficial outcomes of Rotary membership. The fact that those things that Michael talked about, we belong to a reputable world organisation, the esteem, the magnified impact that we can by working together with all across the world. We have the other thing you get in Rotary is a sense of achievement. Actually, Rotary gets things done. We say we're people of action, but we actually get things done. You can see it. Obviously, fun and fellowship, a sense of belonging. That's the glue that holds a lot of clubs together. It'll be interesting because of COVID, where the glue suddenly disappeared for a while. We only see people on a screen, but everyone's egging to get back together again. Networking was initially probably a prime focus of Rotary. It's just one of the things that happen in Rotary now, that business network. And then things like this we're doing today, the personal leadership development, we've got training, we've got mentoring, we've got conferences, we've got quality guest speakers, all things that you can sell to somebody to say. The other one, Andy, your catch cry, I read something you written recently where you said to a young person that their passport to go to anywhere in the world, and we'll give you a passport to travel to anywhere in the world, and anywhere you go, you can walk into a Rotary club and be welcomed. I thought, wonderful. Where else in the you can't get that from another organisation. You can wander out. You can welcome, and it doesn't matter what country you go into through Rotary. Thank you, Gareth. And if you start looking at a club that's successful, it's a club that's got diverse membership. We've got, does your club represent the community around you? Are we efficient use of time? I think we're going to be more efficient after this. I know that our club will have our board meetings and all our project meetings on Zoom. And we'll save so much time and effort in doing that. We still want to have our club meetings. We've got all that communication, public image thing, the welcoming environment you get in, the website, the social media, the bulletin, the visibility of the local, that kudos. A successful club must be flexible. And the fact that, if you're at a club there where and you get a new member and comes in and got some ideas and they say, oh no, we're already full up with all our service activities, we don't do anything new, we've got these set things we do every year, or are you more inviting for clubs for new members to throw something on the table and get it sort of on the agenda? How sustainable are your funding sources? you know, the security of what you're doing, the partnerships, you know, like Southport went through the security, they lost their carousel at Broadbeach, which for years had just provided a steady income which they were able to share with other things. Use of grants, partnerships, so working with other clubs. And then a shared responsibility. I believe every club should have a plan to work through that. So, if you've got a club that's where club traditions are not attractive to potential members, but if you want to make changes, you probably lose some valuable members, then there is an alternative. Thanks, Gareth. Next. We could all, instead of risking anything new, let's play it safe and continue to slow decline and obsolescence. It's sort of, okay, thank you. What if we could avoid changing routines, attract new business members, grow our Rotary membership and expand our community service? Sounds like a good deal. So if we look at a traditional membership growth, we get an existing club, over time we get new members. It actually hops up and down because we lose some and get ones, but it goes something like that. Thanks, Gareth. Or we can think about a satellite club. A satellite club, we only need 8 members to start it, and it's got, it's an extension of the sponsoring club, meets a different time, perhaps a frequency at the sponsor club. Could be an alternate age group, a diverse ethnic group with different community orientation, and it could be people with a different geographic or rural location. The ultimate aim for satellite clubs, whether or not they could become another independent Rotary club, or they could meld back into the main club, or they could continue in their own right, is have them be functioning fully chartered autonomous. So they are not just there to be a group that's going over there and the mother club dictates what they have to do. They're a club that's autonomous, but they're part of the combined group. So they provide an alternative that if you can't attract members because you don't want to change the way that the current members like things, and you're looking for another way of extending yourself, think about a satellite club. And we've got expertise in the district to set up a satellite club and work with that. So, my guess and message is, clubs need to be aware and recognise areas that threaten their survival. And having sort of value statement and making sure that that's something that's attractive to potential new members is one way of checklisting that. And then having a plan to say, we're a bit weak in this area, or we've got some strength in that way. Build on your strength and try to mitigate those threats and weaknesses that you might have. So, what's the membership potential? I've just listed now this group's in the dark here. This is the latest electoral thing from the Gold Coast. And if you look there, we've got something like 135,000 people in the catchment for those 10 clubs. Right? We've got 307 active Rotarians in those 10 clubs, which is about 0.226%. If I went down to Maclean, their membership is about 1% of their population. And I think a couple of let's go back a bit, thanks, Brian. Yeah, so if we were to lift that to 0.3%, that'd be 407 Rotarians. So, if we were to lift our whole district up and keep our district up, the Gold Coast has got to do the heavy lifting. The country clubs can only increase that much. We've got high potential here. So we can have more clubs, we can have satellite clubs, we can have clubs growing genetically. We've just got to have those value statements out there, values propositions out there to attract people into our clubs. Now, most of the clubs have been doing quite well, but as Andy said, we've got to set a benchmark. We've got a reputation now. So In summary, Club Develop is more than just an increase in membership. It's engaged members delivering measurable service income outside. So you've got to make sure when you get people in there actually delivering something. We need clubs to have a plan to improve the value of their offering, understand what the value proposition is. We need to set some goals and record progress. And clubs that actually work to improve diversity, gender, ethnicity, and the other thing that's on diversity is just people talk about having more younger members. What we've tried to do in Rotary Club Gold Coast is have more business people who are still in business. It's business versus retired that we get into trouble. It's not young versus old. It's the fact that we're all getting older and not shifting into retirement. That's great because it gives us more time to capture Rotary. But we lose all the business connections. Rotary gets things done through networks. And if we start saying, oh, well, I used to know someone in that, but I haven't been working for a while, so I've lost those connections. A variety of formats, and on the basis that healthy clubs offering value to members will attract new members and retain, and also enhance the public image. I think that's all. Great, thank you.